A modern and technologically filled water park situated around the Margaritaville Resort in Kissimmee, some saying the spiritual successor to Wet n Wild, but themed entirely around social media, where promoting this water park using your social media is part of the fun. Hi, I'm the Frugal Brit, and for this video I'm going to provide a breakdown of the good and the not so good things about Island H20 Live to help you decide whether this water park is worth a trip. In addition to that, I'll be providing a full tour of all these slides and attractions, as well as providing my top tips to get the best out of any visit here. And don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in future Orlando vacation content. Island H20 Live is located off Highway 192 in Kissimmee and not too far from Animal Kingdom Lodge as the crow flies. It is located in the Margaritaville Resort and Sunset Walk Entertainment District, but this water park is separate in the sense that you don't have to be a guest at Margaritaville, and also you do still need a ticket if you are staying at Margaritaville. A single day ticket will cost you $44.99, but $37.99 for seniors and children under 48 inches. However, the extremely popular season pass costs only $69.99. The theming for this water park is around social media and technology. To take advantage of this, you are encouraged to download the free H20 Live app, which, when combined with the smart band which is handed to you when you arrive, allows you to do some cool things such as changing the music and lighting on certain attractions, capture photos and videos, locate your family and friends, and also earn points when riding the slides, which can be redeemed on food and drinks as well as merchandise within the park. Alright, for my tour I'll be taking you around the park in a sort of clockwise direction, which conveniently ends with my favourite attractions. With that said, let's head over to the island for the kids section of the park. First up we have Candy Stripe Cove. This area provides an array of slides for children 36 inches and above and offers a slightly less chaotic environment for the smaller kids. A short walk north from Candy Stripe will take you over to Pelican Paradise. This is a large splash area for young kids with a tipping bucket, spraying fountains, mini slides and other fun water activities. Just above Pelican Paradise is the Level Up area. This is a sports-focused pool with in-water basketball nets and floating lily pads to climb across using the overhead rope net. All three of the previous attractions are surrounded by the next attraction on my tour, which is Chat Creek. This is H20 Live's lazy river where you can chill out and drift seamlessly through the park whilst dodging the overhead tipping buckets. As we leave the island section of the park, we're headed to the northwest section, arriving at Live Lagoon. This is the wave pool and social hub of the park. Whether you're there for the waves, the music, or just hoping for a bit of respite from the sun, guests will want to make use of this beautiful pool area in the centre of the action. Guests intent on relaxation may want to check out Private Domain, which is a few minutes walk east away from Live Lagoon. This is a small pool where adults over 21 can get some downtime away from the noisier sections of the park. Just north of Private Domain, you'll arrive at Replay Races, live streaming and Drop Down, which is a group of attractions with a focus on speed. First up is Replay Races, where single rider guests compete head-first in a head-to-head race against 5 other guests to see who can get to the bottom first, with a timer system showing who is the fastest rider. After 2 drops, the slide eventually ends in a shallow run-out pool. Next, you have live streaming, which is a flatline loop capsule slide beginning with a drop start, making riders plummet down a big drop before sliding through a tight helix with high G-forces. The last slide in this group of 3 is the drop down slide, which is another freefall slide beginning with a drop start right next door to live streaming. Riders step into the launch cabin before the trapdoor opens beneath their feet as they plummet down the huge drop section. Heading south, you'll arrive at the 2-person raft slides, which are Follow Me Falls, the Downloader and Reload Rapids. The first of three is Follow Me Falls. This raft slide, which can be ridden solo or with a friend, combines an uphill water coaster with a zero gravity wall towards the finish. After the first drop, guests are propelled upwards by strong water jets, followed by an enclosed section. After a big drop, riders slide up the wall of the zero gravity half pipe before reaching the exit area. Facing east, you have the Downloader raft slide, which offers audio and visual playlist personalization. Riders plunge down through the tube, followed by some spinning in the bowl. After reaching the centre of the funnel, riders enter a second piece of slide, sending them smoothly towards the exit. The final raft slide in this group is Reload Rapids on the right-hand side. Riders will rapidly move from one enclosed tube to the next through tight corners, followed by an elongated funnel where the raft swings from left to right several times. Heading towards the final section of the park in the southeast corner, you will find the huge family raft slides, which are Profile Plunge and #Heights. We'll begin with Profile Plunge, which is the orange slide on your right-hand side. This slide provides unexpected drops and twisty turns through both open and enclosed sections, fitted with daylight rings for a fun light show. The more people on your raft, the more thrilling you'll find the experience. The final slide of my tour, which is also my favourite within H2O Live, is #Heights, the green slide over on the left-hand side. As with its neighbour, this slide is best experienced when it's full up. This ride consists of a short open section that is followed by a big steep drop that leads into the zero gravity wall section before plunging back down to the pool. One of the best things that H2O Live has going for it is how clean and modern it feels. Whether that's the condition of the attractions, the restaurants, the restrooms, whilst the Disney World alternatives have better theming, those attractions are decades older and H2O Live is in noticeably better condition. The park is on the small side compared to its competitors, but despite that, it still feels quite spacious. Moving on to the value, as mentioned earlier, at the time of making this video, your annual pass only costs you $69.99, which is the cost of less than 2 visits here, and that includes free parking. This is less than the cost of 1 day at Volcano Bay, so really impressive for those who are able to visit more frequently. So you can understand why this water park is such a hit locally. Another big appeal of this park is that typically it's reasonable to expect that the wait times and crowds will be quite a bit lower than some of its competing water parks, such as Aquatica and Volcano Bay. Speaking of appeal, if this video has appealed to you at all, please leave a like down below to support the channel, which would be much appreciated. So anyway, crowds. There's decent parking space availability as well as seating near the wave pool. You'll get on more slides throughout the day. If you're just looking for a simple and fun afternoon at a water park without the stress that is often associated with the Disney, Universal and SeaWorld parks, then H2O Live is a fantastic choice. And this is where I think H2O Live almost fills the void left by Wet n Wild. With regard to the technology at this park, I must say I was impressed by the family and friends feature, allowing you to locate others in your group, and also I did find that I enjoyed gaining reward points more than I expected. Couple of other notable points. I found that staff were very friendly and accommodating, and I think also worth mentioning that this water park is open throughout the winter, unlike its competing water parks. So for the not so good, I should probably start with the theming. Whilst the concept is unique with it being focused exclusively on social media, I did not care for it personally. The main reason being that a theme of social media doesn't really affect the design or the landscape of the park in any meaningful way. Unfortunately, there are quite a lot of cement areas with no sand, and it is lacking a bit in tropical foliage, even by comparison to Wet n Wild, but I expect the theming was fairly inexpensive to execute and provides obvious promotional benefits for the park, so I can see the owners feeling that they've delivered precisely what they set out to achieve. With regards to food, it doesn't really fit in the good or the not so good. The food is on par, but not the best value. The menu is quite limited and service not the quickest, it has to be said. But the fries were very tasty here. For those interested, they do have some gluten-free and vegan options if needed. For anyone that's purchased the unlimited drinks, you may find that the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines are not sufficiently maintained, which is a fairly common complaint from guests. Moving on to the technology. Unfortunately, I did experience several technical issues at the park, including the video features. Points were not always added to my profile, and I couldn't always find my friends using the app. Hopefully this will get better in time, but given how long it's been open for, you would have hoped for a bit more progress in this area. Before the park opened, its management had also promoted a virtual queue system connected to your wristband, but after contacting the park, I understand that this is unfortunately still in development. Given how disastrous the Tapu Tapu system was initially for Volcano Bay, spending more time on development may prove to be the right approach. So, value. The cost for a one-day ticket is $45, and that's only $5 cheaper than Aquatica. And I'm not sure this water park beats Aquatica in enough areas to really justify that. Of course, the season pass is incredibly good value, but they may need to rethink their pricing for an online single-day ticket in my opinion. I will put something in the description if this changes at any point. One thing that doesn't help with value is that they have a very strict food and drink policy, so any food including snacks cannot be brought in. If you want to take a drink into the park, it needs to be an unopened bottle of water 20 ounces or less per person. A couple of other very minor niggles I had with this park are that the floor on the wave pool is really quite uncomfortable, so be careful not to drag your feet here. And lastly, this park has very recently started charging $10 for parking. In fairness though, that's less than half the price of its competitors, but still disappointing. So before I get into my top tips for getting the best out of this water park, I'm just going to summarise very briefly. Island H20 has an impressive array of water slides, and whilst it is weak on theming, its use of summer pop music played at the perfect decibel provides a great atmosphere that almost makes up for it. But is Island H20 worth a trip? Well, if you're on vacation in Orlando and you already have your Disney World, Universal or SeaWorld tickets taken care of for the duration of your vacation, then I do think it's difficult to make the case that it is worth a trip unless it's very conveniently located to you or if you have access to any special discounts. Having said all that, if you are able to visit regularly throughout the year, the season pass makes it 100% worth the trip. Whilst not as important at H20 Live, the obligatory theme park tip is to arrive at rope drop, i.e. before the park officially opens if you want to reduce those wait times. But before all this, make sure you bring your ID with you if you are planning on purchasing tickets on the day, as you will be turned away otherwise. Be sure to also pack a towel with you, as these are not provided at the park. Whilst you can't bring soda etc. into the park, you are encouraged to bring a cup to the park to get water and ice at the freestyle Coca-Cola machines as well as the water fountains, and the park did confirm that to me. If you need something a bit more interesting, then you may want to grab the all-day cup for the Coca-Cola machines for $15. If you are interested in buying the season pass, be mindful that the park is not open on a Monday or a Tuesday for most of the year. It's only open on these days for the peak summer months and the last 2 weeks of December. One of the benefits to a season pass that not everyone is aware of is that it allows you to bring one friend for half the price of a one-day ticket. There's rarely any capacity issues in terms of seating, so there's no real issues heading to the wave pool. However, the frequent alarm signal for the start of the wave action can be irritating for some, so if you're without kids, you may want to head over to the private domain section. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you know of any discounts or if you have any tips you can share, please throw them in the comments. And if you're interested in future park reviews and other Orlando vacation content, don't forget to subscribe.